we have our head around this thing, we're guessing at numbers at this point and solutions. So, I mean, one step at a time. But I'll go wherever you like. You want to tell the guy to stop tomorrow morning?
No, we've spent the money for this. I want to see what it costs. I want to see what the number comes in. I wish it was here earlier, but I just figured if you don't talk about it and get it going, I want to put pressure on whoever it is to get it done. So I want to see it. I want to see the numbers. I want to see what it's all going to cost. And like I said, I still think no matter what, if you're doing your work in-house, it's half the cost. So that's why I want to explore, can we do it in-house for half the cost rather than bid it out? These are questions I wanted to get answered tonight. And like I said, I thought it sounded good that everybody's willing to do something, and then if we do it at half the cost, that's saving a ton of money. That's saving a ton of money.
Well, I'm holding out a hope, frankly, that we do it as a typical public works project and it doesn't cost anything.
And is that waiting for a bond?
No.
Or how would we?
No, well, I mean, just let us do our work, Tom. That's what I'm asking for. Let us do our work. We'll have the plan at the next meeting, and you know, we'll be going out to bid thereafter. I mean, unless you don't want to go out to bid, if you want to just figure out how we, you know, look at the plan, and if our internal folks say they can build it themselves, and you can figure out a way that we appropriately reimburse, you know, or charge the water side for the resources of the DPW side, okay, I guess. I mean, we can do that. Any way you want to go. You know, I want to get them water too, Tom.
Yeah, well, I wasn't thinking of taking out of the water supply, because it's just something that happened in North Smithfield.
Well, if you don't, I don't know how you're going to deal with every other issue that comes up this way, because you got one coming on Mechanic Street that's
I realize that, like a mile.
yeah, 6 times, 10
Yeah.
times this.
And what are we gonna do? That's what I'm
We're
saying.
working on it.
Well, that's why I said, I'm just gonna work on things I know. These are things that I can think of, and like I said, why don't we, if we know we can do it for half the cost, if we can show the ability of doing a small project right now and saving a ton of money, just think of how good we could do on the next project. You know, like if we do have to run a mile of piping, because we're all thinking the same thing. So imagine what we could save and the experience we could have by just trying a small project. You know, that's what I'm thinking, Gary.
We're starting from a point that is, your 50% number is out of the air, Councilman.
It's not.
And, well, we need to go through the details. We will.
All right, all I want to do is get the ball rolling and make it go as fast as I can. And like I said, I know from listening to these other people and other municipalities, they said they have done it like that. You know, Woonsocket has done it like that.
It's very easy to do it that way. Sorry. If you have a water system that covers the entire community, and your DPW and your water department are one. North Smithfield is not. We have a challenge that way to get this into something that works respectfully for the different groups that have come to be in this community. It is what it is.
And you know, Gary, this is what I don't get. I'm all set with this entity does this entity does. We're a community, North Smithfield. I don't want to hear that no one can work together. We're working, I don't want to play this game anymore. I've been here for 6 years, and I'm so sick. I can get so much done, but I get my hands tied behind my back. You know, everybody I know who won't go into politics or do anything, they don't want to do it. They're so disgusted because they're so, oh, we can't take it out of this, we can't take it out of that. We're a one community. We need to work together and use the money to do things and take care of the community. I don't want to hear we're not. This is the water, this is the North Smithfield. And you know, that's just the way I am. I'm so sick of politics and all of this. I just want to fix things. So that's why I came up with this thing. I think I can do it better. We can look at the numbers. We definitely don't want to throw away the engineering that we paid for. I just want to look at it, but I want to move. I want to move it on, and I do want to keep it in-house if we possibly can. Can we do that? Can we look at that?
I agree with everything you're saying. Let's get it done. Let's get it done.
I'm so done being a politician and being this guy that has to listen to this one and that. I'm so sick of it. I'm doing things the way it is to get things done. That's it.
And Tom, we need to make the, stop having the water department as an enterprise fund and stop having the sewer department as an enterprise fund. And unfortunately, you'll be unsuccessful in being able to do that because of the diversity of the town, where the western side of town has no interest in paying for water lines for the eastern side of town. That if we would never have a sewer system if we had gone forward on that kind of a basis in 1979, 77. And we can bemoan the circumstance, but that's the reality, and they are separate funds. So I'll go anywhere that this council directs. We'll have to talk about it, and we'll have the plans before us on October 2nd.
Anyone else?
Can I add one thing to that? Just in case people know, I did speak with CDBG officials as Community Development Block Grant. And that's federal money. If we're successful in getting that grant, you frame the project such that it's outsourced, using the private contractors' equipment, and you're paying prevailing wages. And it's not going to happen inside of the window of 3 months before winter sets in, but certainly it's going to happen. It's going to happen for the springtime. I can pretty much guarantee that time frame if we get the money. But I'm already working on that. There's survey procedures I went through. I went to the neighborhood and I think I'm going to get 100% response rate tomorrow. So I got the data that I need, and it looks like the numbers are working. So you can do things to accelerate it, like environmental reviews, and you can ask for pre-agreement requests and such. And so I'm doing all that just to see if we can get the money. But that would be, if we get lucky there, you could pay for 100% of the thing and not have to tax our own equipment. So, but the time frame, like say you want to wait a year, a year is a ways out. 6 months brings us to February. Certainly, if we get lucky, we'd know by then, hit the ground running in the spring.
Can you ask for the grant after the fact?
No, you can't. They call those choice limiting actions. You can't even so much as maybe bid a project and expect to get reimbursed for it with the federal money that we're going after. So that's the bureaucratic reality of the piece that frustrates you.
I know, and that is what frustrates me. And if we get this money, does it have to go up? Federal money and prevailing wage and everything?
Oh, yeah.
Which is triple the price.
Right, I'm sure we'll be able to find those numbers out.
Everything you do has to be prevailing.
Unless we keep it in-house.
It's roughly a third.
Even locally, I think local
No.
projects.
No?
Davis Bacon is roughly a third more than the prevailing wage. Tom?
Well, I just want to, I'd like the study to come in. I'd like to look at it, but I want to look at it right then and come up with a decision of what we're going to do. But if you can find out, if you think we can get this grant and we know it's kind of guaranteed in a short amount of time, I don't mind waiting a little bit. I don't mind waiting. I'm not going to give away free money, but
I'm just saying that spring would be a reality versus before winter this year.
for an answer,
To be able to use that money and do the project.
but you'd have an answer of a yay or nay.
Oh, yeah.
By when?
December. What's that?
Yeah, I
November,
should have,
yeah,
I
by
should have.
December.
Hopefully even sooner.
May
But
I-
I'll confirm that with you, by the next meeting, hopefully.
If we could get an answer, I would love an answer.
Now that I got the survey data, I can keep pressing them and see.
Can I ask Tom a couple questions, man? Tom, it's been years since I wrote a community development block grant. Is there special consideration for regional impacts such as water, not so deep with water system coming into North Smithfield? Maybe that weighs into it. The other piece is, in-kind services.
Yeah.
So could we get more consideration for in-kind services, whether it's our DPW or we work with Woodstock? Does that help with the application process?
It does. And, take the second half question first. Yeah, there is room for in-kind if you're matching it, but you can do that. The other thing is I believe the water authority could apply to, like, I could write it on their behalf. It doesn't have to be
Somebody wrote it.
either the town. I mean, have the application, doesn't have the town's enough to be the face of it. It could be the water company. A history of that might look good going forward for long-term plans for the company. But I'm anxious to see the numbers too. Just my intention is to get this number we get from the design and quickly put it into the application and get it in and see.
And when I put this on the agenda, I didn't know when these numbers were coming back. I just said, when is this gonna happen? And I just said, you know what, we're gonna take matters in our own hands and find a different route, just so we know, so we can make a good decision. We're not just gonna take one route and go, oh, well, we're gonna do this and then have nothing. I wanna have two plans, so if one doesn't work, we have another one to look at. And it came out, we have two different plans we can go with so far, plus your plan.
Right. My option, the best thing that happened is everybody got back to me. I mean, the people have been great, and that's a good thing, because if they don't talk to me, I can't help them at all. So everybody got back to me, which just tells you the indication of the problem too, I suppose,
Yeah.
Well, how did this work out then? How about if we came up with, look at the study. What the study said, it's just throwing out numbers now, don't hold me to any numbers. But just for argument's sake, say it said it was $100,000. Then you give the residents an option. You can either all chip in and pay the $100,000 and get it done, get moving on it right away, or you can wait until the spring and do it, get the grant, do it for nothing, you put it on them.
That's fine. That's fine. And they would have a choice.
Right.
And then
They don't want to
like I
wait,
said,
they don't want to wait, we'll do it now, but you're gonna get a bill. And if you want to wait, you might not get a bill.
well, like I said, it's good to talk about it tonight, because now there's another option.
Right.
Now there's 4 different options, rather than, geez, I hope Texas doesn't take all the money,
Florida.
Florida.
How many seniors, do you know of the population, how many folks are considered senior citizens out there? Because that'll go a long way in senior.
Oh, boy.
I think 1.
We know of one.
There's at least 2.
Yeah, that helps a lot
Let's do
with
it.
grant
Oh,
application.
to answer your question about area benefit, this is regional, it's such a small project, we're just gonna go off of area benefit and look straight at income.
But it's coming out of the Woonsocket water system.
Right, but relevant. If the incomes meet it, that's all I care about.
Yeah, so that's why I was asking how many of them would be senior citizens. That's okay.
Couple.
Mr. Heller has a question.
Tom, would you consider those people on Golden Boulevard have an emergency?
I'm sorry?
Do you consider those people on Golden Boulevard tonight, sitting in their home, have an emergency?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I brought that up to the state. That's the first reason I went down there.
So they have an emergency, right? Supposing, I'm not trying to question you on the proper form, but they have an emergency that is needed fixing now.
Right.
Tonight, those people have been, told by town officials via Big Win. They were told many years ago. So why, if Tommy's talking about getting it fixed, I agree totally. Why can't we turn around and you apply for that grant, but explain to the grantors that in fact these people have an emergency.
Yeah.
That the lady can't flush her toilet, she's gotta go up to her daughter's house to take a shower, that's an emergency.
It's not, the first thing I brought up, Dan, was that, and it's not an act of God, it's not an earthquake, it's
It's not an
I
emergency.
don't use the word negligence, but I mean, there's, at the time these residents own these lines, they still do. It's complicated. I mean, there's multiple jurisdictions are involved in terms of governments, city of Woonsocket, us, and someone could have stepped in years ago and tried to do the same thing I'm doing now. I mean, but it wasn't an act of a weather event or anything like that that what caused this problem. There's a lot of people kind of complicit in that, you know? So anyway, they didn't classify it as an urgent need. Like the NTV situation in Pasco, that was clearly an emergency.
Yeah, with the gas station.
Ironically, it was caused by man, I guess technically too, but it wasn't a storm, but that was different. Those funds came very quickly to that community. For the entire well having to be shut down.
Yeah.
This is a little different. So,
And that's why I said, you know, I didn't have a lot of confidence in it. So I just said, I'm gonna go after a few more plans. So if we see that, we spent the money on that study, I definitely wanna see it, definitely wanna see the cost. And then I just wanted to, like, talk tonight and say, would you guys be interested in having the highway department help us put this line in? Is that an option to you guys?
There are a lot of options, Councilman, and I'm ready and willing to explore every one. The first thing we need is a plan. This isn't a study. This is an engineering document that is being prepared on behalf of the residents, to understand what actually should be done to meet code and deliver clean water to the homes while also providing fire protection. So it's not a study, it's a plan that will be before you next week, in 2 weeks, with an estimate by the engineer. It will be the engineer's estimate until it's on a piece of paper that says that it comes from an entity that actually does the work. It's an estimate. The reason we went out for the design was to be able to get real numbers, because the number that was before us wasn't making sense to me, and still doesn't make sense to me, and based on the input I've had, the sense was right. But again, until we have something from an entity that is qualified to be able to do the work, tell us that they will do it for whatever amount of money and pledge their home in terms of a bond behind it. We don't know what the cost is. We've got the cart before the horse here, friends, and we got to wait for the drawings to come in, allow time. I mean, the opportunity to pursue this grant is something that has come from the meeting that I had with Congressman Cicilline's office. Thankfully, Amy Pease of his office took my request seriously and came back with a list of 24 entities that they offered might be able to help, and Tom has been pursuing the ones that make sense. I think we're doing what we need to do as fast as we possibly can do it, and do it once so that it's properly completed. But whichever way you want to go.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it was a study. I know it was an engineering piece, which of course we need. We can't do it anyway without that. So I don't want you to think, I don't think we're wasting our money on that.
Oh,
And I'd love to see it. I just want to do something really quick, and I want to put pressure on everybody. That's all. I'm just going to apply pressure on this, and that's all I'm going to do. So I'm fine with waiting until October, and then we'll sit here and we'll come up with a plan once we talk about it in October. And when you say put the cart, the horse at the head of the car, the cart ahead of the horse, all I want to do is prepare something, not just to sit. I don't like to sit and wait. I like to have ideas ready. So when something doesn't work, I have another idea. That's what I do all the time. I like to have different options all the time. And I don't like when you say, oh, we have to do this first. We all do things different ways. You're definitely a different person than I am. We do go at things different ways. It's just the way I do it. I like to have options, and I like to go through everything I can. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying my best to help these people, and that's what I'm going to do. And that's it. That's all I have to say. But I'm happy with what we got accomplished tonight.
Anybody have anything else? Discussion by council.